So today we're going to take a look at command prompt usage. So to use a command prompt, first we have to get to a command prompt. So how we get to a command prompt is we just type or click start and type CMD, hit enter. That gets us into the Windows command prompt. This looks like a normal DOS command prompt. The only thing about this is there is no DOS in this operating system any longer. As of Windows XP, which was 2 Windows operating systems ago, Windows eliminated DOS as the base of Windows. So you're actually using a command line inside of Windows. So when we get into the prompt, the very first thing we may want to do is look at what is in the folder that Windows has put us in. So if we type dir and hit enter, you can see it lists everything that is inside the user admin file, and you go down and there's all these listed. But let's say we don't actually want to make anything in the user admin folder. We want to go back to the actual C root drive and create our folder there. So we'd have to get there. So the way you get there in command prompt is you type cd, and then in this case we want C:\\, and we hit enter. You see it kicks us right into the C root drive, and then when we do a dir command here, you see that we are out of users and we're actually all the way back above users. We have program files users windows. So let's say in the C file system we wanted to create a folder called games. How we would do that is go ahead and use a command called make directory, but for short you just type MD, and then we want to name the folder games. So we go ahead and do that. You'll see it doesn't show us anything. But as soon as we type in the directory command again, you'll see games has come into our screen and is now a folder on the system. And for those of you that have never used the command line interface, if we go ahead and go to Windows Explorer, click on the C folder, you'll see that games is right here, but there's nothing in it. So that's, same look. This is just through using the Windows GUI versus the command line. So let's minimize that and let's go back to our command line. So inside our command line, you see we're in the C drive, but now we want to get into the games folder and make a file there. So in this case, we have to go cd games. We hit enter. You see it appends games to. So this is how we can keep track if we have to go multiple folders deep into a file tree. We can keep in our head visually. We don't have to keep in our head. We can look visually at the screen and see how far in we're at, and if we need to go farther, where we want to be. So in this case, we want to just make a basic text file that holds our serial numbers for 3 of our games that we love. So we go ahead and type the copy command, and then and then we put the name as we want the file. So in this case, I'm going to make it game_codes.txt, and we hit enter. Alright, so now this is the same as if you were setting in like Notepad typing. The only difference is here you can't skip around. Once you type a line, you have to erase everything to go back and edit something if you make a mistake. So in this case, we want to add the code for, let's say, Battlefield 3. And these are not actual codes, so don't try them. So let's say that was our code for Battlefield 3. And we want to save the code for Call of Duty. And Call of Duty's code is all numbers. And then we want to save the code for Command and Conquer. Being it's an old game, its keys like short, simple. Alright, so that's what we want to append. We're done. We don't want to add anything further to this text file. So at this point in time, we just type Control Z and we hit enter. And the file was copied. So now if we do a directory command, you can see game_codes.txt is in that directory now. So let's minimize it and we'll go back to the GUI, and you see game_codes is now a text document, and if we double click on it, it opens up in Notepad and you can see Battlefield 3 and the numbers, and it's exactly the same as if we go back up here to our command prompt. You can see they're identical. But we did it the entire way without ever using the GUI or Windows Notepad or anything like that. But let's say now we've decided we no longer want our game code stored there because it's not secure and it bugs the crap out of us, and we want them to disappear. We've kept them somewhere else. So we backed them up. So what we do is we go ahead and type dir again, and we type del for delete, game, and if we just hit tab, Windows will automatically pull up the rest of the name for us, because it's the only one. Now if there was a game_codes1.txt, it actually wouldn't allow us to do that. We'd have to type out game_codes1 and then hit tab and it would append the txt. So if we hit enter, then we do directory again, you can see there's nothing in the directory. Oops. And then if you go ahead and let's say now we're done using the games directory, we don't want to use it anymore, so we want to get out of it. So we go ahead and type cd, and instead of having to type c:, if we just hit period, it takes us up one directory to C. We do dir again, you'll see games is still there. So now we want to get rid of games, so we do rd for remove directory. We type games, we hit enter. When we hit directory, we'll see games is gone. So that was a brief overview of how to use the command line interface in Windows. As you can see, you still can access everything through the GUI, but it is much faster. It does require a little bit of precision, but as you can see, it didn't take me very long to go in and delete that file, go up, delete the folder games, and have erased everything I've done in just a matter of seconds, versus with the GUI, you have to go in and right click and go to delete, and then you have to yes, no, do we really want to delete it? And there's several steps like that where, with the command line interface, and very quickly in 2 or 3 minutes I could have typed all that up and then deleted it all in a much faster time than I can with the GUI. So that was a very brief introduction to the command line interface. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.